Breaking news out of Utah has shaken both the political and online worlds. Charlie Kirk, the 31-year-old founder of Turning Point USA, was shot and killed during a campus appearance at Utah Valley University on September 10th. The shooting happened right in the middle of a student Q&A session, around 12:20 in the afternoon local time. Authorities quickly identified the suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Less than 24 hours later, Robinson was taken into custody. But what makes this case even more chilling is what reportedly happened before his arrest, an online confession that stunned everyone who saw it. Tonight, we're breaking down exactly what Robinson said, how investigators are responding, and the disturbing details that have now come to light. The most shocking twist in this case came the very next day, September 11th. Just a day after the shooting, Tyler Robinson allegedly logged onto Discord, a popular online chat platform, and dropped a message that left his community speechless. He reportedly wrote, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." Robinson went on to say, "I'm surrendering through a share friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you all for everything." This wasn't some private DM. According to reports, the confession went out to around 36 people. And the timing? Just 2 hours before Robinson was arrested. At first, people in the chat didn't even believe it was real. They thought it was some kind of sick joke. But once Robinson doubled down and admitted it was really him, the reality set in. He was confessing online to assassinating Charlie Kirk. Now, while Robinson's Discord posts shocked the internet, Utah's Governor Spencer Cox has made it clear there's an important distinction here. Speaking on ABC's This Week, Governor Cox explained that Robinson has not confessed to police. In fact, he's been refusing to cooperate with investigators since the moment of his arrest. Cox also addressed the Discord chatter directly. At first, the governor said, people in those online groups didn't believe Robinson's messages were real. They brushed them off as dark humor, until he flat out admitted it was him. So, while the online confession adds a disturbing layer to the story, Cox stressed that it's not the same thing as a legal confession to authorities. Right now, law enforcement is still piecing together exactly what happened in the hours after the shooting, and how much weight to give those online posts. Of course, when news broke about Robinson's Discord confession, a lot of people immediately asked, did this attack have roots online? Discord itself quickly launched an internal investigation. Their statement was clear. They found no evidence that Robinson had planned the shooting on their platform, and no sign that he had been promoting violence there. Still, the case raises uncomfortable questions about how online spaces can fuel radicalization. Even if Discord wasn't where the attack was organized, it was where Robinson chose to make his chilling announcement. And that leads us to an even more troubling layer of this story, Robinson's personal circle of influence and the people closest to him in real life. One name that keeps coming up in this investigation is Robinson's roommate, 22-year-old Lance Twiggs. Reports say Twiggs was in the middle of transitioning and may have even been romantically involved with Robinson. Now here's the twist. Twiggs reportedly cooperated with the FBI, handing over text messages about the very gun used in the shooting. That cooperation played a key role in Robinson's arrest. But at the same time, Twiggs' own family has leveled serious accusations. Relatives say Twiggs harbored deep resentment toward conservatives and Christians, and they believe Twiggs influenced Robinson's radical views. One family member even described him as full of hatred and claimed Robinson only got worse during the year they lived together. So, while Twiggs hasn't been charged with any crime, the role he may have played in Robinson's mindset and in his eventual arrest remains one of the most complicated pieces of this puzzle. Robinson's roommate wasn't the only one under scrutiny. Family voices are painting a dark picture of what may have fueled this tragedy. A relative of Twiggs didn't hold back, saying bluntly that Twiggs hates conservatives and Christians, and even described him as being full of, quote, evil and hatred. They went on to say this wasn't how he was raised, but over the years, he had grown more detached, more radicalized, And they believe Robinson changed for the worse after getting involved with Twigs. The family claims that between their relationship and the online gaming group they were both active in, Robinson was surrounded by influences that pulled him deeper into toxic ideology. It's this mix, digital communities and personal relationships, that investigators are now looking at, trying to understand how Robinson's worldview hardened to the point of violence. As of now, Tyler Robinson is being held in a Utah jail without bail. Prosecutors have already filed preliminary charges, including aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice. These are some of the most serious charges possible, and they set the stage for what's likely to be a long and high-profile legal battle. Meanwhile, Robinson's roommate, Lance Twigs, has not been charged with any crime. Despite family members pointing fingers and accusing Twigs of fueling hatred, authorities have made it clear, at least for now, Twigs isn't facing legal consequences in connection with Kirk's death. Still, the public reaction has been one of shock and unease. Even Twigs' own relatives have admitted they were afraid he might hurt someone someday. Those fears, sadly, feel validated now, in the wake of this tragedy. This case has all the elements of a modern tragedy: an assassination in broad daylight, a chilling online confession, and a narrative of personal and digital radicalization that feels ripped from a cautionary tale. But today the questions linger. How much influence do online spaces really have in shaping violent actions? Where does accountability fall? On individuals, platforms, or the communities that nurture hatred? And as investigators dig deeper, what else will we learn about Robinson, his circle, and what led to Charlie Kirk's death? We'll be following every development as this story continues to unfold. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to Papaya Room, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update. In the meantime, what do you think this case says about the power of online communities in today's world? Let us know in the comments.